Hello everyone, I0386SX, and yes, this is really going to be a video about a remote control. There's going to be a very particular reason for it, a very, if you will, unusual reason, at least in the IT world, of why we are going to talk about a remote control. But there is a little bit of a history lesson with this, of course, so definitely does tie into retro computing. Now, when this remote control was manufactured in the late 90s and the early 2000s, USB was becoming a thing, and now today, if you don't have USB ports, you're in real trouble. But let's say you have a notebook computer in, let's say, the year 2002. Let's use that as an example. In the year 2002, the computer below me, for example, this Armada 7770DMT, does not have USB ports. It was a computer manufactured in the mid to late 90s, I want to say 97, 98. And you know, a lot of business people are probably still roaming around with something like this, or even an LTE 5000 series, or IBM ThinkPad, or Toshiba, similar specs. Many of them did not have USB ports on them. And they travel and, hey, I need to hook my computer up to a projector and I need a presentation remote. That's a tall order back in the day. So that's where this one comes into play, because it actually has a PS2 port on it. I bought this thing brand new, probably like 2016. Just, why not? It's a rarity. But before we open the box, this is an RF.RF interactive remote control for presentations, and this is a newer variant of it because it does say the drivers are on CD-ROM, which I wish they didn't do that, and I'll show you a little bit why I wish they didn't do that. But you know, there's the marketing crap that everybody loves. And the specs, you got the transmitter, the receiver with a 6-foot cable. You can hook this up to a machine that's USB capable. 2 AA batteries, the user guide, and it does say 3.5-inch floppy, but that isn't in there. You need Windows 95 or 98, and I imagine the driver CD probably had capabilities for 2000 or XP. And when I did get this remote control, it was never used. It was in the shrink wrap, and when I took the batteries out of the packaging, they were shrink wrapped. The batteries themselves were soft. They were so destroyed, they exploded, and they were just soft. You could crush the darn things down with your hands. They were so much done for, and I'm glad I didn't put them in the remote control like some of these other places do. And got some cool Simpson member collectibles. Had the same problem with the batteries were soft. You could crush it with your bare hand if you wanted to, and those were made right around the same time that this remote was, but they left them in the toys, so there was a chance of having to do a little cleanup before you could enjoy your vintage Simpson collectible. Actually, you know what? They are convenient, so those at our Simpson fanatics. This is what I am talking about. I think I pulled the batteries out of this one since. Oh yeah, you can put these little guys on. There's a thing you can put them on, and they say various things. So. I also have Lunch Lady Doris and Jasper as well. But back to the case at hand here. We'll talk about the remote. I also have the USB one for fun fact as well. It is a darker color, and I originally saw this in a church, and I was doing work for a church down in Plainfield, Wisconsin. Now, Ed Gein was, that's what Plainfield is known for. They're known for a murderer. Ain't it wonderful? But, anywho, so, yeah, a little bit of ties to the area in stupid, unfortunate things, if you will. So, let's open up the box and let's see what we got inside. So, of course, you have your USB to PS2 conversion kit cable. You have the, I'm gonna guess this is the receiver with the PS2 end on it. Pretty big device. I think I kind of played spoiler with the USB version, and the PS2 version is a gray. And as you could tell, oh, there is lasers, so the batteries are working. I did change the batteries before I did this video. As you can tell, we just have ordinary dollar store batteries in there, and nothing too fancy. We just gotta power it. Who cares how it's powered? And here's the instructions. Yeah, we know how men are with instructions. We're just gonna throw those right in the box. And here's the driver disc. And I'm gonna show you why I wish they would have kept the floppy. First of all, the labeling, it's hard to tell on film here, but this looks like just an ordinary label that you could just buy the labels at Walmart back in the day and print them yourself. That's not the end of the world. I mean, who cares if that's the case? It gets worse. This is a homemade, there you go. You can kind of tell. I know it has some scratches on it, but this is a homemade, home-burned disc, and unfortunately it has fallen through the sands of time, and it does not read anymore. A factory disc would probably still read today, so it's unfortunate. And maybe this box was in the sun or somewhere in less than ideal conditions before I got it to it, so maybe that had something to do with it. But now the original factory discs would have probably been a better idea here, but whatever, that's okay. So first thing, we got to plug this thing into a PS2 port. And let's get this bad boy on. I don't remember if this is the one I broke the sound cable on or not, but we're gonna find out together. I did do a little bit of proactive work here, believe it or not. I was actually organized to some degree, and I did get the drivers onto this computer before I started this video. You can get the file from Driver Guide, and it'll do everything that you need it to do. So if you fall victim to the same thing that I did, where you have a burned CD that is basically a paperweight or a coaster, well, Driver Guide's got you covered. If Driver Guide dies, as long as I'm on this planet, I got you covered. And I am going to safely say this is the one with the working sound cable. Never understood why it paused like that, but once it boots, it's fine. Now, you don't need the special drivers to do the basic functionality. At least I don't think you do. So you can see that I am pressing the buttons if you look to the left of your screen, and the cursor is moving with the use of this thing right here. This is probably your mouse right here. On the right, you have the left click. On the left, you have the right click. Makes a bunch of sense, right? And you have 4 programmable buttons. Right now, they are going to do absolutely nothing because those need the driver. Laser, you don't even need the computer on to use that. And underneath, there is another button. This is also functions as a left click as well. So we know that the basics work. So we are going to clumsily get to the area where I have the drivers, and we will install the drivers, which takes a while to load. This is annoying. I think it's there. RPF setup is what this is called. And this program does not work on a 64-bit operating system. Of course, you're probably going to be hard-pressed to find a 64-bit capable computer with a PS2 port on there. If there is, you know, drop in the comment section. I'm curious to see if such a thing exists. And I I don't know why this is coming up pink on my camera, but rest assure you, this screen is in fully functional, not pink at all. Now, if that'll do anything, that might make matters worse, see? That puts a ring in there, so let's turn... Alright. We'll go back to pink. And unfortunately, Windows Installer does take a while on this executable. Different. There's still a glare in the front of the screen. Yeah. I don't know why this is not particularly clear, but whatever. And you'll have to take my word for it, but the hard drive light is going at a regular pace, so we know that the machine itself is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Like I said, this executable, despite being 10 megabytes, oh, this one's going to be a lot quicker this time. Alright, well, that's alright. I'm okay with being a liar here. So, you know, continue, press next. Trying to do it with the presentation mouse. And, well, take your firstborn son, blah, blah, blah. We're going to agree to that wonderful stuff. And here you want to tell it whether it's a PS2 device or a USB. We have a PS2. And it's just going to install it there. I think this took a while too, but the other one went pretty fast, so hopefully we have the same kind of luck on this. But while we're in the suspense of things here, I'm pretty sure this requires a reboot. I'm curious to see if the USB version, at least, since I have it free, will detect at least the basics on a Windows 10 system. I don't have any Windows 11 in the house yet, so we will not be able to test that at the moment. That said device is ready, so let's just see. I have more AA batteries than I know what to do with, so we should be in the clear on the batteries in this house. And yes, just for the folks that are wondering at home, the USB version, oh, what's this say? Please insert the disk. You got it. So, this is a limitation with Windows 95 or 98. My belief is that it doesn't like the space or the file path is too long and it's having a pill about it. There are two options. You can browse to this directory in Windows Explorer, copy this PS2 directory to the desktop. That option for sure works. The other thing we can potentially do here, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Yes, it did not like that space. So the USB, well, back to the USB presentation mouse, it actually does work better on my Windows 10 machine than I think the silver one does on the 98, but maybe that's a count of more screen resolution, or I'm not entirely sure, but let's wait for this to do its thing. Okay, it's going to try and load a web page that is probably long dead. I don't have this thing on the network anyway, so that's not really relevant. And lo and behold, Windows 98 and its calling card. And there's a README here. And there's some, if the mouse doesn't work, you disable the internal mouse, but I'm using the internal mouse at the moment, so fortunately, not a problem on this compact Armada. The screen is not reversed. Go to Tools and uncheck the pop-up. Oh, very good. Oh, there's a limitation if you try this on NT Workstation. 2-button mouse with the added functionalities of presentation remote. And okay, so if you, this is the little note about Windows 2000. You do have to use the USB variation if you want a fully functional device. So okay, that's good to know. And my theory is that this is probably going to reboot once the README is closed. I have confirmed as such. Windows 98. This is second edition for anyone taking notes at home. So my guess is this is probably finishing up the install at this point, which I don't think really does anything where you have to worry about. Okay, so now it's loading a program, and again, I rest assure you the screen looks a lot better than what it does, what you're witnessing. I loaded the screensaver already. Let's change that quick, because that's going to annoy me every time. I don't know why the screensaver is set to such a low setting, but, well, whatever. Yeah, we'll set it to 10. Good enough. And there is a program that did open. I don't know if we try to close it what it does, if anything. Yep, it looks like I closed the whole darn thing. Alright, well, you know this channel, nothing goes smooth. So if you ever have to restart the program, you go to Program, Interlink Electronics, and you load the program again. Alright, so you now see something near the clock. It's RF, so let's configure it. And now you get your additional buttons. So, number 1... Oh, I may have to turn on the light for this. I apologize for that. Hopefully this doesn't cause any major... Oh, it didn't. Awesome. So we're going to press number 1. We're going to see what it does. And we get the toolbar. I don't know what that does. So we just click the little bubble thingy and we get something like that. So that's kind of cool. So let's see if we can get out of there again. And I think it did. Alright, let's press number 1 again. I never messed with this software at this level, so I'm learning here too. And it says put your message here. I honestly don't know how to change that. And I'm right-clicking to get out of it, so we'll go back. And we'll click on that again. Maybe. Oh, wait. Let's actually hit the 1, right? Wow. That's a check mark, so wait a second. You're wrong. Yeah, we checked that off. We checked off Outlook Express. Boom. Internet Explorer. Now, even the mouse doesn't want anything to do with that. And to get out of it, you simply right-click. So that is something I did not know prior to my... So next is a reveal button. So it just turns the screen black. And you just press the 2 again and you go back, you're back in business. So pretty straightforward. If you've got to talk and you don't want a PowerPoint on your screen, I guess that's what you use number 2 for. And do keep in mind that these are buttons you can program to do anything you really want within the program's capabilities. So here's number 3. And oh my god, it's really big. We got, boom, you can see the Mozilla Firefox from, the planet Pluto. We got the DOS editor, which you can also see from Pluto. Oh, there's your PS2 drivers that I copied earlier. To get out of that, you press the 3 again. Let's see what number 4 actually, what the factory programming is. Keystroke escape. So, as it stands right now, this is, if you press the 4 button, it's an escape button. And I don't have PowerPoint installed, so we can't really test that. Or yeah, maybe we can. Hold on here. Let's try something. I don't know if this is going to allow me to press escape to get out of it. Oh, did something. I was hoping escape would do something of significance there, but unfortunately it did not. Maybe this one does it. Yeah, so escape looks like it's working. As I pressed escape on the keyboard, it does the same thing. Okay, cool. So I want to program one of these. How do we do that? So we're going to replace tool. We got a whole mess of things here. We have a center cursor, a wheel. You can do an on-screen keyboard. So if we press the 4, you get your on-screen keyboard like that. So that's one of the things you can do. Although this is very clunky and clumsy on this remote. I'm not really particularly a fan of it, but oh, see. Not really terribly usable. See, as I'm trying to type on here with exclusively the remote, and it is not going the way that I was hoping. We're going to put in the word test. So at this rate, I am typing probably 2 words a minute. So you will not be able to get a job at Time Warner or whatever they're called now. You cannot be the person that takes the phone calls at the 911 dispatch centers. I apologize, I do not know what that title is, but at 2 words a minute, you are going to be out of a lot of jobs. So let's close that out. Let's close out WordPerfect. Let's go back to the presentation program and let's see what else we can do. So we covered that, and there's your keystroke. You can put whatever keystroke you want. You can launch a program, or you can quit an application. Let's go to presentation. We can do a screen capture. We can clear the screen. We can put a clock. We can put a timer. We got spotlight. We got ticker tape, screensaver. We got a virtual laser, a pen, and a highlighter. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so I want to come back to the highlighter one for a very important reason. So we got, multimedia. You can put multimedia players on, volume control. You can play a particular sound. You can play a movie. So all very, very feature-rich for something made in the early 2000s. All right, so we're going to change this to yellow. Okay, I don't know what Easy Draw does. So, okay, so we got our highlighter now. So we got our... Alright, so... Okay, that's transparent. I don't want transparent, so we'll right-click out of that. Killed off Easy Draw. Why in the world would you do that? That's not very nice. So, all right. So let's try number 4. Let's see what it does. All right. So we got ourselves the RF. Oh, it highlights like that. So we got our remote point RF open. We messed that up pretty bad. We got this random document that's just making a real circle of things here. We got one of the best web browsers known to man that I'm going to poorly circle. And we're going to do some random drawing. We got Internet Explorer, which is somehow still existing in this day and age. We got a whole mess of things going on right here. And all these players are coming together to make one hell of a mess. And boom, it's gone. You know who really could draw like none other with a yellow marker? The legendary Hall of Famer coach, Hall of Famer color commentator John Madden. And may he rest in peace. It was really a great pillar of the NFL football community, I tell you. Now, I've gotten to football very, very late in my teenager years, and I think he was just about signing off the broadcasting side of things, but you know, the few years I got to enjoy his broadcast, I know my mother didn't care for him because it was annoying, but man, the man knew football. And he made everything exciting, so rest in peace, John Madden. You were one of the greats, and you could draw way better than I could. But he probably had better tools than this remote point. So, alright, so yeah, you learned something about me that, and my love for sports, and a few of my Facebook friends already knew that, but back to the subject at hand. There's your feature-rich remote control. I don't know how this software would translate on a Windows 2000 or XP machine, and there's one other thing I want to try. Just in the honor of the late John Madden, let's see if we can slow the cursor speed down a little bit and see if that makes our presentation mouse work a little bit nicer. Some of these compact Armadas are notorious for having very, very fast cursors. So I pressed the number 4. Yep. Well, a little bit better, so we circle that document. We hit the left click to do that. Left click again. We got my computer, we just circle among other things. And these are the drivers, and we're going to try and circle. See, so earlier you could tell that we copied those PS2 drivers and all those, and all its wonderful glory, and boom, we have full features of the mouse, and we have one great mess. I have never been so happy to see a mess. There you go. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. And provided that you have access to the Windows 95 or 98 install files, especially 95. So I tried this on one of my LTE lights, and they asked for that, and I didn't have that. So that's one word of caution if you do use that mouse, even for its basic functionality, is that you may need those drivers, and you may need that Windows 95 install CD. So something to think about there if you try this on anything older. Probably not going to come up too often, but yeah, so let's shut this down and there we are. And that, my friends, is your presentation mouse. The model number on this thing was manufactured in April 2001 for anybody that cares. I thought the model number was on this remote somewhere. Well, regardless, there you go. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about this mouse. This is only the 3rd time I cracked this thing out in 5 years. Never actually used it for any presentations beyond what I'm doing right now. So, but anywho, regardless, you know, if you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. And for any of those that are looking, this is a VP4800. That's the model number you're looking for. So, once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed one of my dips into the obscure, cool gadgets of retro IT. Thank you for watching.